I did get engaged. Praise God, okay? We all have a moment. Yes. Yes. Some of you were wooing a little bit too hard, okay? Definitely was a little bit more of like a, thank goodness, we never thought it would happen. Jehovah Jireh, let's calm down, okay? I feel that too, though. I did ask Maddie Ullman, who's our 4th and 5th grade coordinator here, to marry me, and she said yes. That's a big part. And as much as I would like to tell you that actual proposal went phenomenal, that wouldn't make a good illustration right now. It went about as well as my putt-putt adventure. And I will tell you, I'll be honest, in my pride, I thought I was going to be amazing at proposals. In fact, the day of, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And her sister's boyfriend, Noah, is like, have you thought about what you're going to say? You know, have you like practiced it a little bit or whatever? And I was like, listen, I know you don't really know me, but winging it is kind of my thing. Do you think famous poets thought about what they were going to say before they wrote it down? No. And it was going phenomenal until we got there. Now, here's the thing. Maddie loves the Alamo. She always has. Growing up, she's lived close to it. And so she grew up going to the Alamo. When friends would come into town, she's like, you got to see the Alamo. She just loves it, right? She's passionate about it. She loves the Alamo. And so even I had caught wind from her sister when I was already thinking about doing this. She's like, yes, like she even talked about as we were kids, like wanting to be proposed to at the Alamo. And I'm like, well, there you go. This just got easy. All I got to do is go to the Alamo. And so we go, and as we get there, right, we round the corner to the Alamo, and I'm like, man, it feels great outside. The sun is shining. There are 50 to 75 people in mourning. There are wreaths on the grass. There is some sort of memorial to remember the Alamo, and the descendants are apparently still very much affected by it. And they are weeping. And from that moment on, I did what anyone else would do. I said, you ever seen the back of the Alamo? She's like, I didn't even know there was one. And so I'm like, let's go see it. And we start looping around this thing like it is Jericho. And I have no plan. And so eventually, after we've gone around like 3 times, she's like, you want to go to the Riverwalk? And I'm like, yes, Riverwalk. Let's go to the Riverwalk. I'm like, let's get dinner. You like Rainforest Cafe? It's like, gorillas in there, and there's an hour and 20-minute wait. That can't even happen. So then I'm like, hey, want to go back to the Alamo? You remember it? So we go back up. And on the way up, there's one X factor in this whole situation that I haven't told you about yet. That is that entire day, I've been having a severe allergic reaction to oak tree pollen. My left eye is basically unusable. And on our way back up, we passed by a CVS on the Riverwalk, which any other day, I would have been like, that's a terrible business decision. That day was manna from heaven. Because I go inside, I get a Benadryl and a Dr. Pepper, and I'm like, let's do this. We go back up to the Alamo to where I'm going to ask her. Now, when we first met each other here on staff at Faithbridge, we were taking a preaching class together. And when she was giving her first sermon, she used an illustration about the Alamo because she loves it. And then later that day, randomly across my Facebook feed comes an article that a guy wrote about how when William B. Travis drew a line in the sand and said, if you want to fight, step over the line or whatever, was completely fabricated. So I sent it to her. Students, if you get anything from what I said today, don't do that. But I'm like, I'm going to redeem this situation. And so I say, hey, Maddie, do you remember that article that I sent you a long time ago? And she's like, why would you even say that? And I was like, well, we can make sure that that happens for sure. I then draw a line in the sand. I step on the other side of it, kneel down, pull out the ring. And I say, yeah, I know. This is good. This is good stuff. And I say, are you sure you want to spend forever with me if you do step over the line? She's like, can I? And we like embrace and everything. And then I realize that I'm still holding the ring. Why am I still holding the ring? Because I did not ask her to marry me. So in a moment of panic, I gently push her off of me and then kneel down again and say, will you marry me? She says yes. And we hug, and it's a great moment. We go back to my car where I've received a parking ticket because I took 15 minutes too long. Yeah. Exactly how I pictured it. It was pure chaos. But you want to know the funny thing? Is that I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. Because that one moment was worth it. That one moment where I got to ask Maddie to marry me was worth it. I don't care about any of the crazy things that happened before that. My mission was worth it. You want to know what makes a mission worth it? When the end result is worthy. And friends, the end result of the mission that we are on is more worthy than you can even imagine.